Good day, dental professionals. Welcome to the Dental Flow podcast. We are dentistry's go-to resource for insights into the business side of dentistry. Your host, Benjamin Suggs, will be helping you navigate through the currents of the ever-changing dental waters. This podcast is packed with innovative practice growth strategies, actionable insights, and expert advice, all tailored to help you elevate your dental practice to the next level. If you're ready to dive in, so are we. Let's get into the flow.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dental Flow podcast. As always, I'm your host, Benjamin Suggs, and it's great to be with you again. I want to talk about something today that is not only important for dental practices, but actually could be applied to any business that is looking to stand out in what we might consider a crowded marketplace. And that is how you can develop your own practice's unique selling proposition. So unique selling proposition is a term. There's other terms that you can often hear used to describe this: value proposition, benefit statement, or even some people call it your secret sauce. So what is it that's special and unique about your practice that's going to make you stand out and define you among a crowded marketplace where there's a lot of other dental practices operating? So this really is a very fundamental step, I think, that all practices should take and all practices should do. And honestly, it's something that a lot of them don't do. So a lot of times, even when we start working with a dental practice that has been in business for 10 years, we take them on as a client. When we ask these types of questions, a lot of times they really just don't know. They're like, we just do what we do. We don't really know what makes us unique in the marketplace, what makes us stand out. So we try to go through a little bit of an exercise with them to define what that is. And I want to walk you through that today, what the components are to kind of develop your practice's unique selling proposition. So let's dive into it. So there's a few components that make up what this is. One is the vision you have for your practice. The second is your competitive differentiators. And the third is your target market needs. So let's walk through those one by one. So the first one is your vision. So you're the owner of the practice. You started this practice with a vision in mind of what type of practice you want it to be. You started this practice with a vision in mind of what type of service you want to provide. And you probably worked somewhere else and took things that you didn't like and things that you did like, pros and cons from that experience, and use that to develop your vision for what you wanted your practice to become. So that is the first and key step, is we always want to align with the vision of the practice owner and what they believe this practice will become one day. So that's the first one, your vision. The second one is what we call competitive differentiators. So competitive differentiators could mean a number of things. Basically, at the core level, it's what makes you stand out from your competitors. What are you doing better or differently or more efficiently than they are that will make more people want to come to your practice than will want to go to theirs? Obviously, to go through this step, you need to do some basic competitive analysis. And the easiest way to do competitive analysis on your local competitors is to simply go to Google, Google, dentist in your hometown, see the ones that pop up, and look at things like how many reviews do they have, look at the services they offer, look at the technology that they have, look at their hours, look at all the things about. You can make a basic list of 4 or 5 things that you want to look at that they're doing. Their special offers could be one of those. What are the new patient specials they're running? But you look at those 5 or 6 things, let's say, and you develop a picture of what your competitors are doing and what they are not doing. And then you took your own practice and go through the same exercise. So what are your hours? So hours is something that a lot of dentists overlook. But if every competitor in your town is open from 9 to 5 and you're going to be open from 9 to 10, obviously that's a big competitive advantage, because for those people who want to go to the dentist after hours, you're open. If you are open on Saturdays and they're not, again, it's another competitive advantage for you because you're open when they are not. Think about the technology that you have. Do you have more advanced technology that makes patients more comfortable? Think about the patient experience that you offer. Do people like your patient experience better than your competitors? A good way to look at that, quite honestly, is just to look at reviews. So if you have 400 Google reviews and your competitors are averaging 200, the number of the number of reviews you have is something you want to highlight in your marketing as part of your value proposition. We do that a lot, like especially if we have a client that jumps over 1,000 reviews, we'll make a point to push that into the marketplace so that everybody knows, wow, that dental practice has 1,000 5-star reviews. That's amazing. Obviously, we could do that with 500. That's also a big number. But you want to look at all those things and see what is different about your practice that makes yours stand out compared to those competitors. So that's probably the biggest time investment in this process, is looking at what your competitors are doing. And you don't have to do all 20 of them if there's 20 dentists, but maybe pick the top 5 that you feel are your primary competition in the marketplace. One that I didn't mention, differentiators, is financing options, insurance. If you're fee for service and all your competitors are in network, then that's something you have to factor into your unique selling proposition. How are you going to, for those people who really just want to go to an in-network dentist, how are you going to sell yourself to show that you're not in network, but you're a better option than the other ones that are? Maybe it's that you spend more time with each patient, that you give each patient more, attention, because you're not trying to rush to the next insurance discounted patient that you're going to see again and again and again. So make sure you highlight those things and how you can talk about how you're different than your competitors. The next one is target market needs. So your target market is quite simply the people in your area that are going to be the people that feed into your practice. So if you're in a pretty sizable town, that's going to be the people in your town. If you're in a very small town, that's going to be the people in your small town, but also the surrounding small towns around there, because you're going to need to pull from those places as well. But you really need to look at like the simple thing, like demographics of that area. What is the average income? What is the household income? What are the average number of adults and children per household? What is the educational attainment? That's a big one, honestly. When we work with a doctor in the area that they're in is a lower educational attainment. And for those that don't know, educational attainment just means what is the average, what percentage of the population graduated college, what percentage graduated a graduate degree program, what percentage only graduated high school, what percentage only graduated middle school, that type of thing. The more people that fall into that high school and below segment, you really have to think about how are you communicating with those folks in a way that they will understand what you're offering. If it's too sophisticated, the way you're saying it, it's going to fall on deaf ears. We've got to do it in a way that they will understand what we're talking about. Another way to look at that is if you have a high number of percentage that is college and above, then we know that those types of folks tend to gravitate to practices that seem more modern and seem to have more advanced technology. So that might be the thing that you want to hit in your messaging, in your brand messaging to that marketplace. This honestly is an issue that we do see sometimes. If you have a vision that your practice is going to be a boutique, high-end cosmetic dentistry practice, but your target market doesn't meet that need. Let's say that they have a lower household income than the average for the US or your state. Let's say that they have a lower educational attainment than the average for the US or your state. That's going to be a problem, to be very honest. I mean, that's going to be an issue in trying to do the dentistry that you're trying to do. So you have to factor that in accordingly, that make sure that your vision matches up with the target market and makes you stand out competitively. And that's why we have this thing here, this arrow that says congruence. Because if you are out of congruence in these 3 areas, you're going to have some challenges. like I just said, if you're trying to sell high-end cosmetic dentistry to a lower demographic section of town, it's going to be a challenge. You're going to have to try and sell outside to a higher demographic section of town, but the likelihood of those people wanting to come to your area for that type of treatment is probably pretty low. So these three things have to be married in very tight congruence. And it's very important that you pick your location based on the vision that you have. So this might even be something that and this does happen when real estate brokers work with dentists. They always look at with a vision for your practice compared to what the demographics, the target market needs are. Plus, they'll look at how many competitors are there. They don't want to put you in an area where there's already 45 dentists in a small town. Obviously, you're going to have a hard time starting up a practice there. So they're looking at it, we're looking at it from a marketing perspective, and we do have to sometimes have tough discussions with our clients and say, hey, you're trying to sell this, but you're trying to sell it to people who are not interested in what you're selling. That's an issue. So look at these three things for your practice. Make sure that you are in congruence with all three. And that's how you're going to come up with a very, very solid, unique selling proposition. And how you're going to be able to target your brand messaging accordingly to your marketplace. So you're going to take what you learned from your unique selling proposition, you're going to flow it into your brand messaging for your practice. Now, I'm just going to give you a last note here, what we think is a very quick tip and a very valuable tip here in this process. One of the first things that we do when we bring on a new client who's been in business for 1+ years is first thing we do is go look at their Google reviews. So we look at their Google reviews to see the themes that we see from what their own patients are saying about that practice. And it's actually interesting that sometimes we've even had doctors that we've worked with for 10 years that when we're redoing a website for them, we go and do this process and they're surprised. Like when we put stuff on this new website, they're saying, why do you have that there? I don't understand. And we point out that was mentioned 80 times in your reviews. I'll give you a quick example with one of our pediatric dentists. We kept talking about, how he has free Wi-Fi and very on-time appointments. And that was a theme that parents were saying in the reviews over and over again. I love the fact that they are efficient and on time, and I can sit there and I can work on the Wi-Fi while my child is back there getting the dental work done. So that was the thing that the dentist was surprised. Wow, I didn't realize that was even a thing that people appreciated about us. And it's all right there just by reading the reviews. So that's a really good way to figure out all three of these things, because you can craft your vision more towards what your patients are already saying about you. You can see what your patients are saying about you and think about how that differentiates you from your competitors. And your patients are the target market. So they are telling you what their needs are. So that's a quick tip on a way to quickly try to get some information to make this process faster is go read your reviews, take out the themes, learn what your patients are already saying about you. And that's what more people are going to appreciate when we're trying to bring in more new patients for your practice. So I hope this was helpful. As always, if you ever need help developing this or you need help with your dental marketing, you can reach out to us. We are Flow New Patient Marketing. Our website is newpatientsflow.com. All of that is in the show notes. And I can't wait to talk to you again, and have a great evening, afternoon, morning, whatever time of day it is for you. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us for this Dental Flow podcast episode. If you enjoyed today's discussion and wish to stay updated on future episodes, please like, subscribe, and share the podcast with colleagues and friends. For more insights and discussions on dental marketing, we encourage you to continue riding the Dental Flow wave and tune into the next episode. Keep on smiling, learning, and flowing with the Dental Flow podcast.